What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Type 1 Fitness. So it's been about 30 days since I started this diet, and I wanted to make a little check-in video with you guys. If you guys don't know, Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease, which basically just means my body attacks the cells that produce insulin. And insulin, if you don't know, is what your body produces in order to control your blood sugar. So for you, a normal person, when you eat a candy bar that has 35 grams of carbs, your body automatically knows, hey, we need to produce 5 units of insulin to counteract the sugar that we just ate. But for people like me with type 1 diabetes, our body doesn't produce any insulin because our body is essentially like, islet cells, what are you doing? Stop producing insulin. They just get beat up to the point where they just stop producing insulin at all. So for type 1 diabetics, we have to inject our insulin, whether we use a pump, syringes or needles, or what I use is a pen where you can just dial how much insulin you want and then poke yourself like that. And the reason I started this 30-day challenge was because when I went to go see my eye doctor, they noticed that I had some swelling in my left eye that could be caused because of a lack of blood sugar control. And that's just one of the many complications that diabetics can have from having out of control blood sugar. So I went on this diet because, one, I wanted to get my blood sugar in a well-controlled range, which luckily enough, after dieting for 30 days and exercising, it has actually been in a pretty good range. Now, I'm not following any specific diet. I mainly just wanted to cut the total amount of calories that I was eating each day to stay under 2,000 calories, and second, to eat pretty much half as less carbs as I would before, because when you eat carbs, type 1 diabetics, we need to take more insulin, and the more carbs you eat, in my opinion, there's an increased likelihood that your blood sugar can get out of control if you don't dose properly. So my rationale was eat less carbs, have to worry less about dosing, and therefore my blood sugar over the long run would be more well maintained. So for this diet, my routine has basically been eating breakfast around 9:30 in the morning with a pretty low carb diet. You guys can go back. I have about 12 videos on my channel so far that kind of go through what I've been eating on the day to day, and I try to keep my breakfast pretty low carb and focused more on the protein. And then I usually eat lunch around 12:30 and 1 after I get back from the gym. And my gym routine basically consists of hitting one core exercise and doing about 10 to 30 minutes of cardio before I actually hit that exercise. But how do I feel after 30 days of being on this diet and exercising? Well, honestly, I feel pretty good. My blood sugar over the past 30 days has basically been in range for more than, I would say, 80% of these past 30 days. My blood sugar has been in range. I feel like I'm getting a lot more restful sleep, and how I know that is I actually started dreaming a lot more than before I might have had like 1 or 2 dreams in a week, and now pretty much every night I'm having dreams, which is kind of fun, honestly. I kind of missed having dreams. I would say for about the first 2 weeks of this diet, I definitely was craving a lot of food, but I think what helped was I actually started this diet after I was getting over a cold that I had for 2 weeks. And I don't know about you, but when I'm sick, I just don't really want to eat anything. I'll eat maybe like 1 or 2 things in the day, but I wasn't like scarfing down food like I was before. So I think what helped with the cravings was actually starting the diet after I was sick, after 2 weeks of already like not wanting to eat a bunch of food. When I started this diet, I was 290 pounds, and while I'm waiting for the 3-month mark to actually step on the scale to see, what kind of results this diet has produced, I definitely feel a lot more energized, and I actually feel like I have the motivation to go out to the gym pretty much every single day. And if you're type 1 diabetic, here's a couple of tips that I think will really help you out. My first tip is get these Pedialyte electrolyte packets. These things are honestly a lifesaver. Only 50 calories, and yeah, only 50 calories for 15 grams of carbs and a boatload of electrolytes. These things have saved me in the gym I don't know how many times, and I usually just buy like the giant box on Amazon. I just take a handful and I literally keep like 15 to 20 of these in my car, 15 to 20 of these by my bed in case I get low in the middle of the night, and like 5 or 10 just in other places around the house, just in case I get low or someone in my house gets low. They can just grab this, grab a water, shake it up, and you instantly have 15 grams of quick acting carbs. And getting extra electrolytes definitely isn't a bad thing. And then my second tip is, if you're like me and you wear a continuous glucose monitor. And for those of you that don't know, a continuous glucose monitor is essentially just an app on our phone where we can scan our blood sugar, instead of maybe your grandparents would have to prick their fingers and then put the blood onto a little test strip, and then that would give them their blood sugar reading. But with a continuous glucose monitor, I can scan my monitor pretty much anytime that I want, and it gives me a somewhat accurate reading of where my blood sugar is. But my tip for that is, sometimes your continuous glucose monitor isn't always extremely accurate. So one thing I would definitely recommend for type 1 diabetics, or just anyone that wants to get in shape or start going to the gym, is start recognizing the signals that your body is telling you. For example, the other day I scanned my continuous glucose monitor and it said I was 65, which is starting to get pretty low on the blood sugar scale, but I didn't feel low. So as a diabetic, I have a dilemma. Do I try to correct the low blood sugar that my continuous glucose monitor is telling me, or do I listen to my body and wait for my body to actually tell you, like, hey, we feel like we're starting to get low? And what I did was I waited about 15-20 minutes to see if, my body is going to be telling me that my blood sugar is actually low. And in that time frame, I tested my blood sugar again, and the continuous glucose monitor said I was 115, which is pretty much in range. So those are some tips that I would recommend for diabetics or even non-diabetics to implement into their daily routine. I'll have a link to my Twitter, or X now, I guess, in the description down below if you guys want to follow along with me on what I'm eating daily. I post it over there on X. I basically post what I've been eating. So hopefully you guys like this video series. So if you guys enjoy the content, please click that like and subscribe button. It helps the YouTube algorithm know that this content is helpful, and it shows it to more people. I'm John. Thanks for watching Type 1 Fitness, and I will see you in the next one.